All right, so today we're going to dive into something pretty deep, something I think we all feel. It's this idea of life as this endless race for more, right? And what does it actually mean to get a second chance? We're going to uncover the incredible, maybe even surprising, value that's hidden in just a single day. So let's just jump right in with a question that honestly gets right to the heart of it all. Just take a second and really think about this. What are those things in your life that you just pour all your energy into day in and day out? The ones that feel like you're on a hamster wheel and you just can't get off? Yeah, because so much of life can feel exactly like that, an exhausting, endless race. We're always chasing these big goals that we think are supposed to define who we are. But if we're honest, a lot of the time, they just end up completely draining us. Let's look at a few examples, and I bet some of these will sound familiar. Okay, first up, the big one, money. The pursuit of wealth. It's such a classic chase, isn't it? We work ourselves to the bone to get rich, only to finally get there and realize, huh, this isn't the fulfillment I was promised. It feels kind of empty. Or hey, what about this one? The search for the perfect spouse. You pour your entire heart and soul into finding the one, right? But then the relationship just fails. And maybe it's not the first time. It's a totally human thing to want, but man, it can be absolutely heartbreaking. And then, of course, there's the career ladder. Always climbing, always chasing that dream job, that perfect title. But it feels like every time you get close, the finish line just moves. You never quite seem to get there. It's relentless. And this might be the most exhausting one of all. Trying to please everyone. Your family, your friends, your boss, your neighbors, the list goes on. You can try with every ounce of your being, and you still end up failing. It's just an impossible, impossible task. So, okay, after all that striving for money, for love, for success, for everyone's approval, what happens when it all starts to unravel? When that frantic race finally slows down, what's actually left? And that question, it leads us to a really crucial piece of wisdom. This idea here, it's a pretty stark reminder, isn't it? That at our core, we're on this journey alone. It's a tough pill to swallow for sure, but it's also so important to understand. I mean, think about it this way. After every win, every loss, all the people who come into your life and all the people who leave, you are the only one who's there for the entire story, from start to finish. You really are the lone survivor of your own life. So what about all this stuff we spend our lives accumulating? The fancy expensive graves, the big popular funerals, the diamond and gold jewelry. At the end of the day, none of it follows you. Not your stuff, and not even the kids who inherit it. Nothing. Okay, but look, this isn't all doom and gloom. This isn't a story about how pointless everything is. Actually, it's a pivot to something incredibly hopeful. Because once we see the limits of all that endless striving, we can finally discover the true meaning of a second chance. And you know where to find it? In the value of a single day. So, what do we even mean by a second chance? It's not some magical do-over button for your entire life. Nope, it's the opportunity that exists in the time you have left. And that could be 50 years, or it could be a single day. It's always there no matter if you're 20 or 90. And this is where you see the incredible weight of just 24 hours. Just think about these examples for a second. A prisoner who dies the night before they're set to be freed. Or a key witness who passes away the night before they can testify against some powerful person. Freedom, justice, all of it, just gone. Lost in the span of a few hours. It's a real tragedy. And these stories just keep coming, really hammering home how fragile life is. The judge who dies right before a huge court hearing. The mother who's just about to get her child back in a prisoner exchange, and it all falls apart at the very last second. That night before a breakthrough, it can be the difference between unimaginable joy and absolute tragedy. So yeah, getting another day is a gift. A huge one. But it's not simple. Giving someone another chance, or getting one yourself, it has a real cost. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about the heavy weight of expectation, that gnawing fear of failing again, and just the emotional toll it takes on everybody involved. It's complex. Let's dig into it. Which brings us to a really tough question. Okay, so you get a second chance. Great. But what about a third or a fourth? Can we, as humans, actually be trusted not to make the same exact mistakes all over again? And here's the hard truth, a lot of the time people misuse these opportunities. It's almost like we get addicted to not learning from our past. We just keep repeating the same patterns that got us into trouble in the first place. And that cycle, man, it doesn't just waste time. It completely erodes trust and hope. And look, this cost isn't just emotional. It's very, very financial. Think about funding a kid's education or maybe a new business. That second or third attempt, it doesn't just cost a little more. It can cost double, 200% more. Can you imagine the stress, the exhaustion of having to work twice as hard just to give someone that extra shot? So the takeaway here is really crucial. Giving someone an opportunity to fix things, it's a heavy, heavy burden. It takes a huge mental toll on the person giving the chance, and it can carry a serious financial weight, whether it's on a family or an entire community. Which brings us to our final big idea. We've talked about the race, the unraveling, and the real cost of another try. So now let's bring it back to you. Let's reflect on the opportunity that you have, right here, right now. What is that chance really worth? And really, this is the question it all boils down to. If you were given a clean slate, not to erase your past, but for your future, what would you do with it? What if you had one more day, one more week, a few more years? How would you use that time differently? Because let's be real, after all the attempts we make in life, trying to get rich, find love, be successful, there is one final attempt that is completely futile, and that's trying to escape death when it's your time to go. That is the one race nobody ever wins. And so that brings us right back to the most powerful, most hopeful idea in all of this. Despite everything, despite all the failures and all the costs, a single day is all it takes. Just one day, that is a second chance. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Today, this very day, is that day. You have it. It is your second chance. And it's happening right now. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with it?